Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Welcome back, this is the OpenVR TV, and today we are going to be looking at part number 3 of the so-called Seventh-day Adventist or a cult. We looked at part number 1, which is of course the Sabbath. As I mentioned in the first video, there are 5 reasons what most people or most popular so-called Christian church that I now call apostate. Well, some of the people, the apostate people, call Seventh-day Adventist a cult, and the reason is because of the 5 S's that we are talking about. The first one was the Sabbath. The second one is actually it's embedded in the something called the sanctuary message. There's the investigative judgment, day of atonement, things of that nature. Um, so we looked at the Sabbath, we looked at the sanctuary message for the second one, and on this one we're going to talk about the third application or the third reason, which is, wait for it, the second coming of Jesus Christ. Now, I want to tell you something, fun facts, probably you guys didn't know about Seventh-day Adventism. The name Adventism was here at the time that Adam and Eve sinned. Let me explain to you. When Jesus told Adam and Eve in chapter 3 of Genesis, verse number 15, that he will bruise or crush the head of the serpent, we know that happened at the cross. Basically, Jesus was proclaiming his advent, his coming, right? Which means Jesus himself is already an Adventist. But of course, Jesus kept the Sabbath, which makes him a seventh-day keeper. That means basically Jesus was a Seventh-day Adventist in our term. But that was the fun facts. If you guys didn't know, I have another reason I know, Adventism has been there before. Let me tell you why. Because in the book of Jude only has one chapter, verse number 14 to 16 says this: And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of this, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon the wicked. Da, 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 da. So Enoch, the seventh from Adam, meaning the one who walked with God and God took to heaven at the age of 200, I think he was about 365 years old. And then God took him. Enoch prophesied of Christ's coming with 10,000 of his saints. Enoch also kept the Sabbath. Enoch was a Seventh-day Adventist in our term. There were no Jews at that time, no Israelites, Remember, at that time the earth was one. But let's talk about the second coming. That's how we're gonna see. Now, the second coming of Jesus Christ. My only issue is most of the pastors that are speaking, meaning in the mainstream, they talk about like a so-called secret rapture, and I'm thinking, man, Jesus is coming secretly. You know what's very interesting? And now that thing actually dawned upon me. You remember at the time of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, when the soldier told the Pharisees that they saw Jesus walk out of that tomb, bright sunshine, there was a big earthquake, all that kind of stuff. The Pharisees, who were animated by Satan, told the soldiers, no, you need to say the disciple came and stole the body of Jesus Christ. So basically, Satan was trying to preach to the Jewish nation a so-called secret resurrection. Isn't that interesting? The same way he preached to the Jews a secret resurrection, which is why people like, what's his name again? Um, and now I forgot his name. He's the famous, Jewish guy, that has that talk show, Ben Shapiro. Yeah, Ben Shapiro. That's why people like Ben Shapiro could never believe about that, because what he believed that Jesus was an imposter, who tried to make a revolution, da 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 da. But wait a minute, if Satan could convince the Jewish nation that Jesus didn't resurrect for real, and people actually saw him, but it was just that the disciples stole his body, claiming it's a secret resurrection, that's more to believe. But second coming of Jesus Christ. So there is that narrative that says, it's a secret rapture. People are gonna be taken to heaven just like that. No one will know until you see your people are gone. And then there's gonna be that so-called 7-year tribulation. I don't know where they got that from. But what does the Bible say? Well, let's see what the Bible says. First, in the book of Jude, the Bible says that Enoch said Jesus will be coming with 10,000 of his saints. Imagine Jesus coming with his saints, and Jesus is fire, hotter than the sun, coming close and close to the earth. Would you not think that there will be so much heat, everyone on the earth would realize they are burning, or there is things burning around them? That's number one. Let's go and look at it in a different way. In the book of Matthew, in chapter 24, Jesus is talking to his disciples, okay? And he says that, no one knows the day or the hour. Okay. Bible says, but as the day of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. In the time of Noah, when the flood came, did it come as a secret? Or did Noah preach about the coming of a flood and people didn't believe until they all saw rain? You see, the flood was not a secret thing. It happened worldwide. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, the whole thing. You can read for yourself from verse number 36 to verse number 43. And again, Jesus said, wait a minute, as the day of Lot. What happened on the day of Lot? Well, when God pronounced judgment upon Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities, it only happened to them because they were the ones that filled up the cup of indignation. But when God rained fire and brimstone upon those cities, was it a secret fire? No. Everyone in that city saw the fire coming. They all got burned up because of that. Which tells me, when Christ used the time of Noah and the time of Lot and say, hey, this is not something that's going to be happening in the darkness. And, you know what? Let me actually go to another passage. In the book of Luke chapter 17, it gives us another perspective. Jesus also in Luke chapter 17 mentions that in verse number 24 to verse 24 to verse number 36, 37. Luke records the saying, as the lightning goes from east to west. You can read the whole thing if you want. When lightning, let's say in Florida, it's raining. Okay? Now, if I'm living in North Dakota and it's raining in Florida, I may not be impacted by the rain, which means I wouldn't be seeing lightnings. But if God says, I'm going to make sure there is rain all over the United States, if there is lightning, will I see it in North Dakota? Yes. Lightning will happen, and that's why Jesus said, as it goes from east to west. That means everyone's going to see it. Let me go to another one, to the last one. Chapter 6 of Revelation. Verse number 12 to verse number 17. We are talking about the seventh seal. In verse number 12, it says this. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell upon the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken with a mighty wind. And it keeps on going to verse number 14. It says, the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of the places. The kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the chief captains, the mighty men, and every bondman, free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rock, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For great is the day of his wrath is come, or for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Imagine all these people. Do we have only rich men, great men, captains in the US? No. We have in Canada, Mexico, we have in Haiti, Dominican Republic, we have in the continent of Europe, in the continent of Asia, in Africa. So everyone on the whole face of the earth, also in Asia, they will see the Son of Man sitting upon his throne. Which tells me, when Christ comes, first of all, if the sun becomes black, it's going to happen to all the earth. If the moon becomes blood, it's going to happen to all the earth. If the heaven scroll back like a roll, man, you would notice that. Everyone would notice that. But you know what's better than that? Let me give you a quick analogy. When I play soccer, when we have the World Cup, imagine us human beings, we can make sure the whole world watches the World Cup finals. In any country you are, you can watch the World Cup finals or the World Cup in general. What makes you think Jesus cannot? What makes you think Jesus coming would be a secret? Even after we read, all those people are going to be seeing him coming and asking for the mountains to fall upon them. How would you think he is coming in a secret? There is no secret, friend. Now, I only used 4 verses, 4 passages. Jude, Matthew, Luke, Revelation. There are many more. I could have used 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, but not necessarily. There are other chapters, other verses I could have used. But I'm only showing you that with Jesus coming, it's not going to be a secret. The same way, when he was resurrected, it wasn't a secret. That way you know. When you start seeing those signs happening, Jesus said, lift up your head, for your redemption is nigh. That means if you are a diligent student of the Bible, Jesus will not be coming as a secret. Even if you are not a student of the Bible, when he is coming, you will see him too. Yeah, you will die after that, But you will see him and you will ask the mountains to fall upon you because you cannot behold his glory because you are part of the wicked. But, guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Put your comment section down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that like button as well. Of course, this was the Open World TV. Hope to see you guys again. Until then, bye for now.